Hi, ladies and gentlemen. So to this formative 1.2 we took last week. And if we look at it, this one says we're drawing the Lewis dot structures for the following elements. And if we wanted to go for that 4, we need to identify the number of protons, neutrons, and the orbitals. And we can identify the electrons as well. I know it says it in the rubric and it doesn't say it up top. So if you didn't do that, that's okay. If you did, awesome. So we don't actually need to draw any Bohr models, which are the ones with our nucleus and then our electrons in the rings around our nucleus. Instead, we are going to draw the Lewis dot structures and only the Lewis dot structures. So we have to first find the element symbols for each of our elements. So if we look at our periodic table, potassium is K. And then we have phosphorus, which is P. We then have argon and bromine and aluminum and lead. So we have all of these elements. So let's put them all up here. So we have potassium, which is K, phosphorus P, bromine Br, argon Ar, aluminum Al, and lead is Pb. We're halfway done with each of our Lewis dot structures already, which is awesome. They're not too bad. Once we finish our element symbols, we then have to figure out the number of valence electrons, remembering that valence electrons are our electrons in the outermost orbital. So that outer ring, the last ring we put, which means we first need to figure out where they are. So if we look at potassium, remember that the first row or the first orbital is right here, which means orbital number 2 starts right here. Orbital number 3 starts here. Orbital number 4 starts here. So we're in the 4th orbital, and we're the first element in that 4th orbital, which means we have 1 valence electron. We're in that first row column. All of these are going to have 1 valence electron. Excuse me, 1 valence electron. And so potassium gets 1 dot for 1 valence electron right here. Next, we look at phosphorus. Phosphorus is all the way over here in column 15. If we look, we're in the 3rd row this time. So we went down to the 3rd row, and we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements in, which means we get 5 valence electrons that go on phosphorus. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, we don't use all of the electrons because we only get a maximum of 8 valence electrons. They can't have more than 8 ever. Bromine. If we look at bromine, bromine's way down here. Bromine is in row 4, just like potassium. So if we go to row 4, we're going to go to 1, 2. Remember, we skip all of these guys. These guys do not help us with our valence electrons. So we skipped all those guys. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So bromine only gets 7 valence electrons. So if we put our 7 on here, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bromine gets 7 valence electrons and then it's full or it's done. No. And then we go to argon. Argon is in row 3. We count across row 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Argon is in that last column. If you remember in the lab, it told us it was the noble gases. So argon's in the noble gas column, the last column. So it gets 8 valence electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Aluminum is still in row 3. Man, so many in row 3. And if we count across, we get 1, 2, 3. So aluminum is in row 3 and gets 3 valence electrons. 1, 2, 3. Last but not least, we have lead. Lead is Pb. Lead is in row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which means we're going to count across 1, 2. We skip all these guys yet again. 3, 4, Lead gets 4 valence electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're done. This right here, all of this right here would get you a 3 right now. If you wanted to go for the 4, remember you do have to include the protons, the neutrons, the electrons, and the orbitals. So the orbital number. If we looked at potassium, potassium down here is in row 4, which means it has 4 orbitals. Its potassium, its atomic number is 19, which means its number of protons is 19. Its number of electrons is 19. And the mass number minus our number of neutrons gets us our mass number minus protons gets us neutrons. So we do 39 because we round down. 39 minus 19, which gives us 20. So if we had our protons, neutrons, and electrons, we have 19, 20, and 19, and it is the 4th orbital. So if we do that for each, we'll go a little bit quicker now. Phosphorus is down here. It is number 15. So its number of protons is 15. Its number of electrons is 15. Mass number minus protons gives us 16 for the number of neutrons. And it's in row 3, so it has 3 orbitals. Bromine. Bromine is Br. So if we go down to bromine, bromine is number 35, which means it has 35 protons. It also has 35 electrons. Its mass number minus its number of protons is going to be 45 for the number of neutrons. And then it is in row 4 again, so it has 4 orbitals. 35, 45, 35. 4. Next, we have argon. Argon is Ar. It's number 18. It has 18 protons then and 18 electrons. Its mass number minus its protons is going to be 22. And it's in row 3, which means it has 3 orbitals. Aluminum. Aluminum is number 13, which means it has 13 protons, which means it also has 13 electrons. And if it has 13 protons and 13 electrons, and its mass number is 27, so 27 minus 13 gives us 14 neutrons. And it's in row 3, which means it has 3 orbitals. And last but not least, we have lead. Lead down here way at the bottom is number 82. Lead is number 82, which means its proton number is 82. Its electron number is 82. Its mass number minus its protons is going to give us 125 neutrons. And it is in row 6, which means it has 6 orbitals. So I have 82, 82, 125, and 6. Remember, guys, your summative is on Friday. So if you have any questions on this formative, please let me know. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your day.